Hey guys, how you going? Yeah, quite a few people ask me why I do what I do, and I guess you'd say it's just in my DNA or in my blood. I just like to pull things apart, always have. I like to work out how things work, how things actually really work. And one of the best ways is to pull stuff apart, stuff that's no longer working, stuff that's going out. And you learn how to repair a lot of different things. You also learn how a lot of things actually work. But then you end up with big piles of stuff, and what do you do with them? So not everything's going to go off to the scrapyard. Some things are worth handing on to other people, and I love the barter system. It's one of the only few forms of trade where both parties really do win. I'm trading something that's not worth a lot for something that's worth more in my eyes, and the other person's doing the same. So we're both increasing our wealth. Now, that's not really heard of. That's a bit unheard of in our society. You know, we have corporations that decide what we should buy and what we should wear, what we should, what we should consume. The problem with corporations is they really don't have a duty of care to human beings. Right? Human beings have a duty of care to human beings, whereas corporations have a duty to shareholders and to basically in the form of dividends and the price of the shares to increase the wealth of their company. So therefore, if you can find what's known as a cottage industry, someone who is sitting at home and making things, whether they sell them on Facebook Marketplace or eBay, how they conduct themselves, if it's ethically sound, if it's something that suits your moral compass, then because human beings, we do have moral compasses, and if we find someone that actually fits that bill, if we find someone that we get along with, they're creating something and they have a need for certain things, well, in my position as a micro scrapper, I quite often pull apart things where there's quite a lot of things that don't end up being scrapped or go to the scrapyard. And so what I'm looking at is people who need things that need all different things for certain reasons. Like, for example, I have quite a bit of glass, plate glass and toughened glass. And I'm looking for someone who makes either small aquariums or they make picture frames, someone who could use that glass. When I find that person, we'll see if we head it off, and we do, then we'll work out some sort of trade system so we both get some worth. Anyway, so what I'm stripping at the moment, guys, is three-phase cable. This is out of a factory. This was, unfortunately, with the factory fires, the insurance companies will only pay for a complete replacement. So quite often, if you're lucky enough to know someone who's working at a factory and they have an insurance claim for a factory fire, this is a very, very, very a bit of a rare score. It doesn't happen very often, but the insurance company, their only real issue is to get the company back up and running. And so this sort of stuff, believe it or not, ends up in the bin, in the dumper bin at the actual company yard quite often. Now, someone will normally grab it, but if they don't, if you know someone who works at a company and they say, hey, there's some cable in the skip, you do need permission. It's private property. You do need permission. I used to be a dumper diver in my younger days, but there's it's more of the insurance which is a problem rather than the actual taking of the item. However, you want to be careful. You can technically get done for stealing someone else's rubbish. It is technically theft, so bear that in mind. And this cable here, that's all copper, guys. That is all copper. That is worth copper is the poor man's gold. That's actually worth quite a bit of money. At the moment, its price has dropped down. In Australia, we went all the way up to $15 a kilo during COVID. We dropped back down to 12, then 10, and now I believe we're temporarily at $8.80. But it will go back up again. It's just a matter of when. Quite often I'll hang on to copper and wait until the price is actually high. Copper is it's a heavy metal. I call it a semi-precious metal, and it's one of those metals that you can condense and stack away, and you have for emergencies, like for when you can cash it in when the price is high, or you can decide to go, hey, you know, I'm short on money this week. What I'll do, I'll just go cash it in, and it may not get the highest price, but if you do the maths and you actually work out that it would have cost you a lot more in interest to go get a small loan, then the loss that you would get, the potential loss that you would get for scrapping copper in when it wasn't at the highest value, would be, I believe, way less than the insurance, or sorry, not the insurance, the interest of getting a small bridging loan just to see you through and pay your rent. So that's something to keep in mind if you've got that safety net as a backup. It's an asset, and that's something that I'll talk on a bit later on. Is assets, and basically making sure you've got a safety net for living in this crazy world, and this very changing world too. COVID's changed a lot of the rules for us. So the better off, the more, I believe, the more self-sufficient you can be, the safer you are in uncertain times. And when in doubt, diversify, which means having a little bit of everything rather than a lot of one thing. And that just means that no matter what happens, that you'll probably be able to adjust to get through the problem. Anyway, I'm going to sign off now, and I'll make another video soon and let you guys know more about other things. Okay, cheers.